viewer email here. So now I have a question that this lady asked me. I'm not going to use any names, and of course, I encourage everybody to write in with their stories. We will share as many as we can on the air here, and because when people share their stories, it helps them realize that they're not the crazy ones, because whoever you're discussing things with is going to make sure that you're gaslighted and manipulated to the point where you doubt your own reality, and everything that you say and do and think is more than likely wrong. That's exactly what the other person wants you thinking. So we started sharing other people's stories online, so this way you people out there who currently feel this way can now say, hey, wait a second, this sounds exactly like my story. We're not all crazy. So again, sometimes it really, really helps to hear someone else's story, because it makes you realize, like, wait a second, this is not just me. Also, what did this person do to deal with it? How did they find out the truth? All these things can be answered simply by, listening to other people's stories. And I understand this is the type of thing where people don't really like to talk about it, of course. But luckily for us, we get quite a few people writing in, asking for our advice, asking how to find out the truth, because they know damn well they're being cheated on. They know that there are deleted messages on WhatsApp. They know that they are, calls that are being done that they would love to listen to, and all this thing. So this is what we attempt to do here. So here's this woman now. She wrote in to DM'd us, and I encourage everybody to DM us, whether it's on one of our social media platforms, or you can send us an email to protonmedia244@gmail.com. And we could either share your story online, I should say on the air live, or we could do a pre-recorded phone call, or like I'm going to do right now, just read the DM. And then, of course, hopefully that person will, of course, see it, and we'll share it with everybody. And, we can all, figure things out together. So here we go. I'm not going to use her name. We'll just say her name is A, okay? Hello. First up, I like your content. It's quite different from the regular stuff we see in social media. Thank you very much, A. I appreciate that. I do the best I can to just remain authentic, honest, truthful, transparent. This is like serious stuff, and I don't want to sugarcoat anything. So I get in trouble for a lot of things I say, but unfortunately, it's the truth and how I feel about it. So anyway, I have a unique situation. You might be able to throw some light on it. Perhaps help others in the same position too. Yes. Okay, so my boyfriend, who is divorced, is in regular contact with his ex, Sil. I guess her name is Sil, for reasons as helping her with her divorce. Big red flag. Is this helping her divorce from him or helping her divorce from someone else? Either way, it's a big red flag, and I'll get to that. They talk for hours together. He says she is like a sister, and he's trying to help. It puts me in an uncomfortable situation where I can neither question it or accept it. That is a huge red flag, okay? So much of emotional energy goes into her. I feel maybe the reason he is pulling away from me, but I can't put a finger on anything. This is so typical. So let me go over the several. I see three major red flags. Number one, he's helping her with his divorce. In my opinion, when you have an ex, the only thing you guys should be communicating about is either the kids or business, as it cannot be avoided. I'm not saying like, Johnny has a toothache, what should I do? Situations with the kids come about. That's acceptable, but this is not a kid. This is not kids here. He's helping her with her divorce. Huge red flag. They talk to each other for hours. Huge red flag. Huge. You just should, in my opinion, you should not be communicating with your ex in that manner. Now, it puts me in an uncomfortable situation where I can neither question it or accept it. That, my friend, is the biggest red flag of all with this. By far the biggest. If you feel uncomfortable in a situation where you cannot either question it and you don't want to accept it, you, my friend, and I'm speaking to you directly, you need to have a conversation with your boyfriend. I don't know how long you guys have been together. You don't say that in your DM, but I'm assuming it's going to be long enough for you to expect an exclusive committed relationship from this person. You need to have a conversation with this guy. Say, look, you know what? I understand your situation. I understand that you want to help out your ex, and I do. Maybe she has no one else to turn to, but this makes me feel uncomfortable. You being on the phone with her for hours, you seemingly putting her first, her emotional needs above mine, you putting just about all of her needs, as it seems, above mine. And I can't question you about this. And you seemingly don't care that it bothers me. This is a problem for me. I need you to understand how I feel about it. And I need you to work with me here because this is not comfortable. And then just go on to elaborate exactly how you feel. And tell you this. If this person, your boyfriend, loves you, he will absolutely do whatever is necessary to make you happy. Absolutely. I'm not talking about completely shut her off because maybe she is in a situation where she maybe has no one else to turn to. And I'm not saying this automatically indicates cheating because it doesn't. What it does indicate, and what it is obviously, is an emotional dependency on someone else outside the relationship of the opposite sex, which can never be a good thing. And I don't care what anybody says. It's just not a good thing. You shouldn't be doing it. You don't mention if he speaks to her about your relationship. If he does, that's off limits too. That's a huge red flag. And I can only assume that he is. What are they? And for her to be talking to him about her relationship is also a huge red flag. You can't be emotionally invested in more than one relationship. You just can't. It's not going to work. Now, if you guys want to be just friends, fine. Date, casual, get together. Maybe it's a friends with benefit type thing or a fuck buddy kind of thing. Who cares? But you know what? If you want a relationship, but he doesn't, and he wants to maintain his relationship with his ex the way it is, and you're uncomfortable with it, my dear, you have no choice but to leave because this man is putting another woman above you. If you see a future with this, if you want a future with this person, you have to tell him how you feel. Everybody is entitled to have the kind of relationship they want. And it is your responsibility to create that relationship with your partner. And then you do that by communicating your needs. You communicate the things that make you happy, the things that bother you, the things that make you sad, the things that make you jealous, whatever the case may be. Let's face it, folks, we're all human, okay? We're going to have little things that bother us. So maybe something that bothers us won't bother someone else. It happens to me all the time. I tend to be a very, very sensitive person in my marriage, and the slightest little thing will bother me. And in the beginning, I started to clam up and not speak to my wife about things, but then I began to speak to her because she showed the willingness to listen to me, to really listen to me, what's wrong with me, what bothers me about a certain situation, and then she does something about it. And when she does this, it tells me, yes, she truly cares about our relationship. If she would have said, well, you know what, too bad, it is the way it is, I'd say, sayonara, baby, I'm fucking out of here. I wouldn't be in a relationship with anybody who didn't put me first. The only way I might take a backseat to anybody is if they had kids. That's it. They have kids, and that's a separate issue altogether. Sorry about that. That's a separate issue altogether. You're talking about a situation here where there are no kids. It's just him trying to help her. And as I said, that's what you need to do. Have a conversation with him. Let him know how you feel about it. If he is unwilling to make the accommodations to make you happy, you have to leave. Because trust me when I tell you, nobody's going to change. People do not change unless they want to, unless they have to. And if he really does love you and he fears losing you and he wants to create the kind of relationship with you that you want with him, he will do what's necessary. If he doesn't, he won't. And you have to accept that. Have enough self-esteem and enough self-worth and enough self-respect to say, you know what? You're a great guy. We just don't want the same things here. So it's time to go. I wish you nothing but the best. And then you walk out, you rebuild your life. But give him the opportunity. Let him know how these things feel. Let him know how these things make you feel. And that's my advice to anybody in a situation like this. I mean, excuse me, you should always have the conversation. Because words are bullshit. Anybody can say all these nice, beautiful, eloquent words with, the best methods to express themselves, to articulate their thoughts and their feelings. But you know what? The only thing that really matters at all is actions. That's it. You want to know who somebody is and what they're all about and how much they care about you? Watch their actions. That's all you have to do. I've been in relationships where I talk to these women and you say, okay, yes, yes, yes. The next time this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And of course, the next time it happens, that's not what they do. They revert to the same thing that they were doing before, which tells me they just don't care. And in that case, I got to go. And I've done that before in my relationships. I'm just like, you know what? You're a nice girl. You're just not for me. So that's my advice right there. Sorry for being so long-winded, but when I get involved in stuff like this, I just feel like I have so much to say because I hate that people are feeling like this out there, and there are answers. Of course, I didn't get into any reason why you might want to move to the next step to get answers because I don't think you're at that step. I don't think you're at that point yet. Perhaps if you were married or together for a few years and he's changing his behavior and drifting away from you in some way, then I would say, yeah, okay, try instant ID or try ProSpy to get the truth from his phone and his location. But I don't think you're at that point yet, A. I think you're at a point where you should be discussing this with your boyfriend because, again, I don't want to accuse the guy of cheating at this point because we don't know if he is. But in my opinion, he is carrying on an inappropriate relationship with his ex simply because it's uncomfortable for you. That's why it's inappropriate. My feeling is this, to each his own. If you're okay with it in your relationship, by all means, do it. I have no problem with it. I mean, I've dated women with exes and they always talk to their ex about this, the other thing. I understand it. Being divorced, being a parent myself, I get it. But when it gets to the point where you're at, I'm sorry. That's just, that's too much. So hopefully this helps you out. And again, please, people, feel free to share your story with us. We always want to help everybody else. And you'd be surprised just how much it helps other people to hear your story.